So if you look at Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, all these guys that have done door to door, that was what they were saying is that the skill set that they got.
I'm like, bro, you're really
so hard
you're
just to
really
get back
doing.
into.
I mean, we basically one of the cameras went out and we're resetting. We just had like a 10-minute break. I mean, man, I was about to say something good.
We put the camera in the fridge.
Yeah, it overheated. One of these freaking cameras over. They're nice cameras too.
Sony,
man.
what are you doing, man? All right, welcome to the podcast. Today we got a freaking banger guest, Cody Thrive, in the house.
What's up? Super pumped, man. So excited to be here.
Dude, Cody's a legend. So for those of you that don't know who Cody is a man of many hats. We could call him a... What do you call it?
You couldn't think of anything.
I know, right? What was I thinking of in my head?
I just do a lot of stuff.
Dude, he does everything.
I guess.
But what I was going to say is... What do you call it when you're on TV? Oh, yeah. A reality TV star.
Reality TV winner.
Winner, a star.
Which is rare.
That's rare.
It's more rare to be a winner than just a star. It just means you got on the show.
Cody was on reality TV on MTV, stranded with $1 million, right? That's how we came in contact with each other.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome. It's crazy, bro.
and you've so we're gonna dive into it because I want to hear kind of your story, your background. You've gotten your hands into everything under the sun, right? Entrepreneur, NFTs, crypto a little bit. Maybe you
No crypto.
No crypto.
No crypto. Just NFTs.
NFTs, sports picks, sports gambling, sales, recruiting, social media, just YouTube.
eBay resale.
eBay resale was like the base, the ground level. Right?
Hey,
The foundation.
the military was the foundation.
The military. So,
Yeah.
dude, so much, dude. We could spend hours digging into all that. But our story, so just to start out, because a lot of guys watching this probably know both of us, but a lot of them don't know how we got into contact.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to hear your side.
Yeah,
of how we met.
It's hard to think back to that, bro. But what happened was I once stranded, and the final episode aired, and then a lot of people hit me up because I think what it was they watched the show, and then once the final episode finishes, I do this too sometimes. You're like, damn, it's over. So you're like, you know what? I like that guy. I'm gonna go follow him, message him, whatever.
Yeah, see what he's doing.
Yeah. So people were hitting me up, and you hit me up, and I could tell that you were a cool dude, like by your profile picture, just the way you looked. I was like, this guy looks like a normal, put together dude.
Yeah, he's not some creep trying to DM me on Instagram.
Yeah, and I mean, you tried to recruit me, and I wasn't ready yet. And it's embarrassing. I mean, the screenshots of our conversation, it's embarrassing, but it's just like, that was just where my brain was. I just wasn't smart enough to know, like, hey, I need to stop going to college. I need to stop settling I was making $12 an hour. And I was like, dude, I'm doing good. I've got this job on campus. Basically, the job was...
Yeah, what were you? I don't think I ever asked you, like, what were you doing on campus?
It was the easiest job ever. Yeah. I mean, it was dope.
That's what you said in our DM. So to kind of backtrack a little, just to put some context with it. So I run a sales team. We sell smart home security and solar, right? Back then it was just more security. So I was watching MTV. I saw Cody on TV. One night I was just up at midnight watching the series. Cody dominated. If you guys haven't watched it, find it on Amazon somewhere, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Amazon TV. It's hard to find it. They need to find, dude.
Put the link in the description of this podcast.
Yeah, let's put a link, dude. I'll be honest. I still talk about this. They should do another season. I thought it was a great series, but anyway, he won a reality TV show where you are stranded in Fiji for 40 days, and this man. I don't want to spoil it, but go watch the series. Anyway, what I got from the show was this kid was super tough and like badass and super like mentally tough. And in our job, what we do in sales, you've got to be mentally tough. You've got to be able to just overcome rejection. Because if you're in sales, you understand that it's mostly getting told no, right? The very, very small percentage of your job is getting the sales and getting those wins. And so when I saw him on TV, I was like, dude, this guy's hardcore. If he's willing to go do that on an island and like starve himself to death to win money, I was like, dude, this is way easier than that, right? In my mind, I'm like, bro, come out and grind with us and you'll kill it. So I DM'd him on Instagram, which I don't just DM people that I watch on TV all the time. Like, that was just like a one-off thing. I was like, dude, this gets pretty hardcore. I'm just gonna like send him a message and just see what's up. So I messaged you, but this was when we were doing some pilot program in Best Buy. Like, we do direct to home sales, so we're out there in the turf, we're in neighborhoods doing in-home consultations, and it was this like weird time in the holiday season where we were like in Best Buy doing presentations. Like, it was a pilot thing. We're trying to see if it would work in retail. I thought that would be more attractive to you as sales, as like something kind of retail. I was honestly afraid to tell you that it was like direct to home outside sales.
Yeah, and I wonder if you had been direct and said, dude, look, you're a savage. I'm impressed. That's why I'm reaching out, which is true. You just be honest. And then you're like, the reason I'm hitting you up because I see this in you, and I know that you have potential to be in the top 1% based on these things. And what I do is very difficult. 99% of people can't hang. But the 1% that this is made for, you make a lot of money and you get life skills and, you know, all that. And, and it's interesting to think, if you were direct, how I would have reacted. Yeah. But I probably still would have been scared.
Yeah.
So
it was, the response from Cody was, because I sent him screenshots of the money and all that. Like, I showed him proof of that what I was saying was legit. But that was like, that was me 8 years ago, right? So I was a young manager, and
dang, it's crazy.
Recruiting,
it's just crazy because, I mean, dude, my mind, like mentally, I wasn't thinking big enough back then. Yeah. So to see those screenshots, it's just like, they could have been fake, is what I thought. And you know, I deal with the same thing now. When I post direct deposits of my money, people just think it's fake, like, and it doesn't hit them as hard as it should. So it's crazy that it, you know, I wish I'd jumped on this, but things worked out really well for us. So it's good. It's great the way it played out.
It played out how it was supposed to, right? So, but yeah, it was, and I think a lot of people probably fall into this. Is Cody was comfortable, right? You had a college job. Were you like, what were you doing on campus? Just
so I think I had a few things. I had, you know, the National Guard. I got about $300 a month from, plus the stipend. The GI Bill was like $400, so that's $700 right there. Mm-hmm. Then I've got an Uber Eats account that I can go work a few hours to deliver food and make, you know, maybe a few $100 a week there. And then on campus, I was getting $12 an hour, 20 hours a week. $12 back then was like $30 now. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I'm saying, I mean, 12. Yeah, it was probably equivalent to like $20 now an hour, which is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it all added up, and I was just living a good life, comfortable life. I had just made $124,000 too.
Yeah, from the show, right?
Yep. So I'd made that because I won that. And I was just, you know, just going to college and kind of hoping that I'd get on the challenge next and do another show. I expected to just do another show right after that. So that was kind of the mindset I was in, I guess.
You were big into trying to get onto more shows.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I did Stranded was to get on the challenge. And it was a path to the challenge, and it was a cool show. And it ended up being, you know, the perfect show for me. So it was great that was the show that I did. Yeah. But I was trying to get on the challenge, so that was kind of my mindset, was like just train, work out, and when they call, just be ready for that.
Yeah. And then, so I think we kind of kept in contact like throughout a year or two. I think it was 2 years later, I think is when it was.
Yeah, it might have been 3 years later. 2 years, 2.5, 3.
I think it was maybe 2.5 years later.
What happened next is crazy.
From my side of it is you posted on Instagram. You're like, hey, if anybody that's in the door-to-door space, hit me up.
That's crazy.
And I was like, I saw that, and I was like, dude. And I DM'd you. I was like, bro, we've been chatting. What's up, man? Like,
is this a dream right now? Is this kid really asking me to recruit him?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was like, dude. Yeah, let's chat again. Let's recap, right? Let's kind of refresh your memory. And so, fill me in. What had happened up to that point?
Dude, I think I just saw door to door pop up a few times in podcasts I listened to. And when I won the money on the show, I just became like a fiend for knowledge and learning about how to invest money. And I know so much about investing money because when I won that money, I wanted to invest it properly. And I watched all these guys like Grant Cardone, Ed Milet, all these guys, these entrepreneurs that did door to door. And like there's so many of almost all of them did door to door in their 20s.
That's crazy.
And I was like, dude, you know what? Like just with my life, when I'm older, I know that if I do door to door in my 20s, I'm going to be happy that I did it. And I know that it's going to change me and I'm going to have more social skills. And I didn't think there was money in it. I thought there was skills to be gained in it. So when I posted that, I had a good job recruiting in the Army, W-2, like $4,500 a month. I was making like $4,000 a month reselling stuff on eBay.
As a single guy in his 20s.
I was with Autumn too. I don't know if I was married or might as well.
with
Basically married.
Yeah.
She was making $3,200 a month as a teacher. So we were over $10K a month with no kids.
Yeah.
And we were chilling.
That's comfortable.
We were living really well. But I was like, I know that if I go door to door, I'll grow as a man. And that was what I was craving when I posted that. And I saw somebody talking about door to door, and I was like, dude, I need to do this. It's going to push me out of my comfort zone, and I'll grow as a person. And that's when I shared that thing, and I was like, dude, I need to just go watch someone sell door to door at least if someone's doing it.
And so we ended up connecting. I think you came up to Dallas. We met in person and stuff like that, right? So you kind of got that, like, is this legit thing out of the way? Like we met face to face, and I think you felt comfortable with me and us and what we were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, dude, this guy's super sharp. And I was like, man, I didn't expect you to be that sharp and just a cool dude. And then when I talked to you and you started showing me the numbers, I had been dominating recruiting in the military. And the way you dominated the military, at least someone with my mindset, I'm always trying to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money. So I'm trying to optimize my energy towards work. And with the Army, you can't make more money for doing more. So what I would do is hit my quota as fast as I can and then chill. So line it up where I'm putting one person into the Army the first week of every month, get my one person a month so they lay off me, and I get to chill and they focus on the people that are not doing their job.
Yeah.
And I was dominating for like a year. And I kind of knew, like, if I could recruit in another field that I got paid commission on or overrides,
Right.
but I didn't know even where to start.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that, and also combined with Adam Nelson coming in and seeing Adam's Instagram, I was like, dude, these guys can lead me to the next level much more than my peers in the Army could,
Yeah.
you know, because they're just normal 9-to-5ers, just like any 9-to-5. They're not trying to reach that next level. They're just, you know, happy that they have a wife or have a car and a house, and they're going to work till they're old, right? Like 99% of people. So when I met you and then when I met Adam, I was like, I got to follow these guys. Whatever they're doing, I'm going to follow them. And that's great advice for young entrepreneurs. If you can work with somebody who's living the life you want, work for them and just learn from them and follow the proven path.
Dude, that's so crucial, because too many guys are just scared to do anything different from the 9-to-5, the clock in, clock out. I think that's what their parents have just taught them, right? Just, hey, take the easy route, be safe, get a salary job, work for a big corporation, benefits, right? But at the end of the day, like, how do you gain freedom out of that? Like, how do you escape that? And some people don't want to escape it, right? But for most people, I think at the end of the day, we want to be able to not have to work forever or even work till we're 65 or till we retire. I think there's so many different ways to fast forward that path of retirement, right? So many different ways now that you can go make really good money. And in my view of it is, don't trade your time for money, trade your effort for money, right? If you clock in and work an hourly job, you're just trading your time for money, and you'll never get wealthy from that, ever. So you have to find something where you're getting paid for your effort, and then you just have to put in a high amount of effort so you can receive the income or the commissions or whatever it is from working really hard. So that's why sales attracted me, is because I considered myself a hard worker. And so I was like, doesn't matter what job I go to, if it's an hourly job, it doesn't matter how hard I work, I'm still going to get paid the same. So I was like, what is a vehicle where I can take advantage of my work ethic and get paid appropriately? And when I found sales, that's what I found, right? So you came in, we did a blitz. We did a little sales blitz. Where did we go? Do you remember?
Houston. And
we went to Houston.
What's crazy about me is as soon as I saw the recruiting pay, I was like, okay, you can master your personal sales, but there's a ceiling there. With recruiting, there's no ceiling, there's no cap. You could technically recruit 500 dudes if you crack the code. Mm-hmm. And the way that I think about making money still to this day is like, find where do you have leverage and what can you do that can scale. And door-to-door is interesting because it's the opposite of that, because there is a ceiling. It's a high ceiling, right? What you can personally do. Like there's some of the guys that can make $400K off their personal sales, the top guys in the company and stuff. But the recruiting got me super excited, and I immediately started visualizing how can I get as many recruits in as possible. And I knew that you don't want to tell someone about something. You want to show them. And you can do that by documenting on video, put it on YouTube, and then send people the link to the video. So I knew I could go out and document somebody making $1,000 in a day, but I wanted to do that and then send that to them instead of saying, "Hey, I found this job. You go door to door. You make $1,000," because they're gonna think I'm crazy. Yep. Just like I thought you were crazy when you hit me up. Yep. You didn't say door to door the first time, but So I was like, if I show them, they cannot deny that because they're watching it on video. So I actually snuck off from my job in the Army. I'm hitting my quota, so they're laying off. They're not really paying attention to me. So I remember that. I drive out from Austin to Houston for a day, and I still had stuff was coming up with work. But I look at that, and to me, that's just the obvious thing to do. But to a lot of people, it's like pulling teeth, getting them to come, work and come see an opportunity. It's like, for me, I see opportunity, I'm there, dude.
You made it work. You're like, hey, I'm going to be kind of answering phone calls and stuff, but you were still trying
I'll
to
figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. And that first day, I would assume I just shadowed you, actually. I shadowed you, and then I think I had to drive back for something. And then I drive back the next day. And Greg Nottingham was like, dude, he heard about I drove back and back. He's like, dude, you're serious about this. And I was like, well, yeah, isn't everybody?
Yeah, isn't anybody?
Come to find out, there's a lot of door-to-door guys that aren't as serious. But but to me, it's just, that's just how I'm living my life, dude. Yeah. I'm serious about the things I'm doing. And to me, it's like, how can you not be? But a lot of people aren't, and I'll never relate to that, and I'll never understand it, and it's whatever.
So what I love is you vlogged your first sale. Well, your first day, you vlogged that day. Right?
I vlogged the first door I knocked.
Ever.
And I was like,
ever. Which is so dope. Nobody does.
Nobody's done
Nobody does that, because who has the balls to do that? First of all, knocking your first door is terrifying for everybody.
Oh, bro.
And the fact that you had the balls to just pull your phone out, you're like, dude, I'm about to go knock on some random doors, bro. Like, hopefully this goes good,
Yeah, I was terrified, bro. So I vlogged myself, and the vlog's up on YouTube. It's an awesome video.
We'll link it.
And the pod. I'm like, guys, I'm so nervous. I'm just gonna go do it. And then I go and I have my iPad and I have the phone recording me down here, just recording up. And I say the pitch. I'm like this, that, And then I'm like, does your back door have glass on it? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, let's go take a look. And then he starts walking towards the back door. I follow him in his house. and then I'm like, okay, I got to cut the video. You're like, and I'm like, once I'm walking to the back door, I'm like, yo, I don't know what to say next.
Like, what do I do? I didn't get this far yet.
I haven't been trained. What do I say once I get in? I'm like, that's a great thing. What do I say when I get, what are we going to go talk about? The glass on his back door. Yeah. And you remember, that guy had a parrot in his house. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Bro, you came over. But dude, I don't know if you remember it at all, but like you dropped me off and then I called you to come back like literally like 3 minutes after you dropped me off.
I was like, what the heck? You're like, I'm in a house. I'm like, holy crap, dude. This guy's going to be a savage.
Knowing what I know now, that is hilarious. Because to me, I was just like, yo, I'm in a house. Yeah. But to you, you're probably like, bro, I literally just dropped you off like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, I didn't cross the street yet. I was like, wait a minute.
You're like, oh, I'm still up front and I'll walk in. Like, that's hilarious. But I mean, obviously it wasn't a sell or anything. And, I wasn't. But just to get in that first house and record it.
Awesome.
It was nuts. And, for me, I was so deep in the recruiting. I was visualizing how to recruit so many people. So I made the video. I ended up getting a sell that day eventually. The dude wearing the Zeke Cowboys jersey, he had to switch over. And then ended up getting another sell eventually too. So I ended up making the vlog. It was like made $1,000 selling door to door, and also documented Brandon's stuff a little bit and got his little story because he had done 1 year. He's going into his second year. Mm-hmm. And I started sending that out. And when I think about that, it's crazy to me. I also went to the home opener too. And I just remember a guy did a recruiting training in the home opener. And he's like, stop trying to use social media. Y'all need to go up to dudes and recruit them face to face and quit being scared. Just like we go into door to door, we're not scared. We're not selling stuff over Instagram. And I was thinking like, dude, this guy is wrong about everything he's saying. Yeah. I'm like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing with recruiting. And that's something that that's fascinating to me about all of door to door is how good these guys are at selling, but how just under-trained they are at recruiting. It's very fast. And the way you get rich and the way you get to $500K a year and up, you got to be a beast at recruiting. You got to get a recruiting and retaining and training. And it's so important to just work on that, and made the video, use that to recruit. And then once I got out there in the summer, which I had to wait for the Army to put me back to 1 weekend a month status.
That's right.
So I didn't get out there till like week 2, but I had already sent you like 15 dudes. Mm-hmm. And I was just grinding in the DMs, making videos on TikTok. And, a couple of guys that I met in high school as an Army recruiter, they're like, bro, you got to get on TikTok. And first TikTok I did, 3 million views, and I just got addicted. So I had sent you like 15 dudes. I got out there. We hit, for the guys watching this that are in alarms, we hit 500 accounts in my downline, which I didn't even know. But now that I've seen about 4 years of guys going to the awards ceremony, no one's came close. And
for their rookie season,
and you think about the youngest Randall brother. I mean, he was positioned perfect too, but he fell a little bit short. And I just think that's like a record that's like impossible to beat. Mm-hmm. Unless somebody like comes from another company and just brings, which is not the same. Yeah, so for somebody with zero door-to-door experience to do that, and it takes, some guys never get to that. I know so many guys that have been doing door-to-door for over 5 years and haven't even got into 300.
It's crazy.
So that's just unbelievable. And people that saw it, they know. And I tearing my Achilles and ended up exiting. It's interesting because it would have been interesting to see how fast I could have got to 5,000 accounts. Yeah.
When you tore your Achilles, bro, I think it hurt me more than it hurt you.
I know.
I was like, dude, just tear mine too. Just tear mine out right now.
Just cut
bro.
that.
Just cut mine too, dog.
Because
you had a good rookie season, and dude, I was super. And it was right before summer too. I was super pumped to have you got your sophomore
Did you?
year,
Do you remember how you told Abby that I tore my Achilles?
I don't remember.
I'm just curious.
I don't know. Well, I called her and I was
curious.
I'm like, dude.
You're like, babe, this is not good.
I'm like, why do they have a freaking super competitive football game right before the summer? This is so stupid. Like, we should stop doing this. Like, everybody gets hurt. There was like 10 ambulances there. I was like, dude.
I almost felt like, because, you and Abby, you all are like such good friends to me. And I want to finish what I started with Trent still.
Yeah.
Because part of the excitement, man, anytime I find a way to make money is putting my friends onto it and helping my friends. And for us, it wasn't just like, dude, I'm crushing it. I'm going to make all this money and my guys are going to make all this money. But I was like, dude, I'm going to help this guy, this dude, you. help you get to where you can spend your time with your family in the summers, and you can get to regional manager status where you're managing managers more than in the trenches on the front lines, which should be everybody's goal in door to door. But we had such a clear path, and then I tear my Achilles, and you're like, dang, it's unbelievable.
We made it work, dude. And honestly, we've been business partners now for like going on 5+ years. Dude, it's been awesome. So I couldn't have my organization without you. So much love. So super grateful for you, dude.
Yeah, no, it's feelings mutual, man. It's been fun. It's been fun. And I think about it sometimes. And I told you, when I was like, dude, we got to structure something on paper with numbers so that but it's like, it's crazy to think like where you were at when we started and where you're at now, just seeing all these guys. It's like, dang, that really was built in a couple of years. And like, it basically was through my social media.
Yeah.
And not even like me, but just my social media 100%. Mm-hmm. Every person, I mean, Nick Turner, Jimmy, all those guys are straight from TikTok.
Yeah. Which my mindset on it was the whole reason that I DM'd you, because DMing somebody that's on MTV, you think about it and it just sounds like dumb. And even when I tell other guys, they're like, dude, how are you recruiting? I'm like, with TikTok. I'm like, I DM'd a guy on MTV and we recruit on social media. And they're like, what? That's not how you recruit. Like, even now, right? They're like,
it's crazy.
I'm like, because in my mindset was, look, dude, I was in my late 20s. I had already kind of like went through my close group of friends and everybody, right? I'm like 28, 29. So I'm like, dude, at this point, I'm like, the only people I'm going to recruit are going to be cold contacts on campus or whatever. I was like, dude, I got to figure out a different way to do this. And I was like, I got to find somebody that has some influence on social media, right? And I don't know what sparked that, but I was like, I just got to find somebody that's got a bunch of followers on Instagram and game plan and be business partners with that guy. So that's how it started. So what's crazy is, because I could have DM'd like 50 people and had it not even pan out, but I DM'd you and it ended up working out.
Literally, it's like when you sell your first store.
Yeah. So,
like, boom.
So I DM'd you, and so it's worked out, right? Because in my mind, I was like, yeah, this guy has more influence. He's younger. We can tap into that market, that age group, and I think too, it's been cool that we're very similar, and so even us working together has just been easy. It's never been difficult. I could have contacted some weirdo and have it not work out, but we both are very similar mindset, and so it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something I love about working with you guys is just all the managers are super family oriented. They're not doing drugs. They're not drinking. And I've always been straight edge personally, and I've always had the goal of building a family. Yeah. And that part of it's cool. And then with social media, I don't know why, but you had followed the YouTubers, the Paul brothers and like Rice Gum and Banks and all that. And I had been watching it too, just not watching it like,
which is weird for my age.
Not watching it like a child, because we're older watching it.
I'm older, dude, but I just like intrigued by that stuff. I don't know.
I'm just like, bro, these guys are changing the game, man. And I got to witness it and take notes and learn something from it. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching it like I'm just learning from what are they doing and why are they doing that?
More so not entertainment, but strategic.
So we both understood the power of social media because we saw the rise of the Paul brothers back in 2017, 2016, when they were really dominating, dropping diss tracks and stuff with Alyssa Violet and stuff. So like
it's every day, bro.
We were taking notes, like watching that, and that helps us understand and not be that dumb 28-year-old when it's so obvious, but these guys are up there saying, you stop using social media, And now everybody knows.
It's a different game now, yeah.
But we're so far ahead. They're still playing catch up, and they always will be.
Yep. That's been awesome. Okay, so to kind of go back to so you tear your Achilles. You're laying in bed. I take the guys out to a summer. Oklahoma City?
Yeah, but y'all are up in Kansas first.
Yeah, dude. We had to stay in Kansas for like a month for licensing. So you're laying in bed, Achilles torn. You're like, freak, man. And this is where, like, your life kind of takes a pivot, right? Like, because you were like, shoot, I was going to go out there. Like, you were on pace to do with your group, you were on pace to do well over 1,000 accounts that year with your group, right? And so you're like, dude, I can't go out. So take us from there, because that moment happened for a reason. So that's so go.
Yeah,
take us on that path.
It's pretty powerful, man. Like, my mom had been diagnosed with cancer the winter, November after my rookie summer. And that was unbelievable. I mean, that hit me hard, obviously. Right. But, like, I can't even describe it in words. I mean, I just remember my parents told me, and I started praying that it wasn't cancer, but we knew it was. And then when we found out it was, I just started crying, and I told her, like, I don't want you to die. And that's crazy, bro. But, it happened, and it's part of my life and part of my story. But, like, going into that second summer, like, I knew she didn't have much time left. So when I tore my Achilles, I was relieved because it forced me to not go out for the summer.
Right.
And I knew, like, man, I'm going to miss out on, like, my mindset. I was like, I'm going to make 150, 200 grand. And I was like, dang, dude. Because my rookie summer, I made 55 grand. But I knew second summer was when I was going to make real big money.
Yeah.
For me, that would have been a big step up.
Right.
But because it forced me, and, like, you got to think too, man, like, my wife and I, we probably had like 25 grand in savings-ish, 20 grand-ish going into that summer. So we don't have a lot of money. Yep. And my wife quit her job because we knew I was going to do well enough with Vivint. So it was like, dude, I think Autumn might have to work as a teacher making $3 grand a month. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let her have to go do that. So all these things are happening, right? And I spent like a day sitting in bed after the Achilles, waiting to have surgery the next week. I'm just laying there. You can't walk, so you're like, you have to go pee. You're gonna be like, all right, I really have to go pee, and you just hop on one foot over there, And I knew that another guy that saw me on Stranded had hit me up, and he showed me he was posting one free pick video a day on YouTube, and then advertising his premium pick that he emails out for sports betting. And I was like, there's no way people buy that. And he showed me his PayPal. He had like 100 grand in there, and he's making like 20, 30 grand a month, I guess. Yeah. And he was also active duty in the Army, and he was doing it on a deployment, which is hilarious. It's great. People don't understand in the Army, like most deployments, you're really just chilling. You have a lot of downtime. They're not. It's not like the movies. Not every deployment is like that for the average, Army person. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, dude, this guy did this. I deployed. I'm thinking like, maybe I'll just make a sports betting TikTok, post a video, and I did that, and I was like, my free pick today is the Washington Wizards plus 10 points. If you guys want my VIP play, go to my website. It's $25, and I'll email it to you. And I was like, we'll see what happens.
This was on Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok.
How many followers did you have up to that point on TikTok?
Well, that was on a page with 0.
Okay,
so it was a new page.
At 0.
So it's a new niche, new page. Mm-hmm. We just talked about that off camera. You got to start. You don't want to confuse the algorithm and post all about business, then post all about gambling. Just start a new page if you're going to start talking about gambling. Yeah. So I got like 6 people that paid me $25. And I was like, bro, I just made $150. And then I was like, okay, I need to research and find a play because I hadn't watched the NBA in a while. So, but I know a lot about math and sports betting. To do research, watch other guys, read other guys' write-ups, the stats, the trends, and find a good pick. So I sent an email out, and I was like, that's crazy, $150 for one TikTok. And it just blew my mind. And, I don't know if you remember this, but my rookie summer, I actually had been trying to sell picks on YouTube. That's kind of been my retirement strategy. Since that guy showed me he had 100K in his PayPal.
I think I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, because I told you, I was like, dude, I just launched, and the guy paid me $300 for the whole MLB season. I was like, bro, $300, this is crazy. This guy just sent me this, and all I have to do is email him every day. And I only sold one. But because I sold one, every day when I got to my area, I had to get on my phone and email this guy, this one guy.
You're one client. You're one client.
And that is the worst case scenario, because then you have to do all the work for one guy. Yeah. Ideally, the great thing about what I do with the email list is you could technically have 10,000 clients and it's the same amount of work as one client. But if you have one client, it's not really working out in the way you envision. So that's what I did the summer before. But when I made the 150, I was like, dude, this is it. This is the path. Yeah. So I just kept doing it, and I made 20 grand that first month that I was on bed rest. Bed rest, whatever you want to call it.
Out of commission.
Made 20 grand. I was like, dude, this is unreal. And then I just kept having thousands.
And that was from selling picks, from selling sports picks. Mainly football?
Basically selling a VIP email list where, hey, if you want access to my daily email newsletter, you got to pay X amount, $300 a month. And dude, people were buying, I'd sell 3 of those a day, and then I'd sell a bunch of 1-day passes and stuff. And every now and then someone would pay me $2 grand for a full year. And I made 20 grand, then 30 grand, then 30 grand. And after that third month, making 30, I was like, dude, I got to talk to Trent. And I didn't want to even call you and talk to you, because I was like, man, this isn't gonna be fun, man. This is sad.
So you made 80 grand over the summer, essentially doing your sports picks.
I would say about 2 months into the summer, halfway through y'all's knocking summer, I probably had 80 grand that I had made.
That's awesome.
So I had to call you and just, let you know what's up, what's going on.
Bro, I'm making a lot of money doing this sports betting stuff.
It's like, dude, I can't stop. And the thing is, it's sky's the limit. With what I do on TikTok, you could have $1 million a month, then that's what I'm working towards now. That's my goal for the short-term future. I want that $1 million a month. Just, just something that I want to happen. But yeah, the ceiling is much higher, and you're doing way less work, and it's just freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So you started crushing it with that, and you've been doing that now for how many, 3 years now, 4 years?
Yep, 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Started right before the summer, so every time you go out for summer, it's the anniversary. So
yeah,
just over 2 years. Yep.
And then, what's your best, if you don't mind sharing, what's been your best year financially doing that?
Last year I did 615K. This year so far, I think I've already done around 600.
Dude, that's sick.
So,
and we're August.
I mean, don't quote me on that though. I don't know my exact numbers right now. But yeah, no. This year I'll break $1 million, but I want that $1 million a month. That's something that I want to happen, really.
That's awesome.
But we'll figure it out. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. And my best month ever was last February, and I made 185 grand in a month, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it's still crazy for me, but also I try to train myself to desensitize myself to it and realize there's people making $1 million every day. There's people making $1 million a week. So there are higher levels, and I look at what happened to me with Vivint. What happened was I got in. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I looked at people that I recruited and couldn't recruit, and I'm like, what's wrong with them, bro? Why doesn't this guy level up? Some of my friends that are super sharp, they're working at a grocery store.
Yeah.
As a manager, making $80K a year, right? But I'm like, why the fuck are you working at a grocery store, bro?
Why don't you want something better for your life?
Have you not noticed that you're smarter than every coworker you have? Level up, bro. Yeah. And that the way that I feel and that all of us feel in the door-to-door game about people that we can't recruit that have so much potential and they don't see it in themselves. Is that you? Because that might be you. And the guy that's making $100,000 a month, posting one TikTok a day that takes him 30 minutes to post, he might be looking at you like, dude, why is that guy doing door to door? He's settling for $500,000 a year. That guy is a $2 million a year guy easy.
And then someone could be looking at you and being like, dude, you're only making $1 million a year. You could be making $20 million doing this. There's always another level.
So there's levels in it. And it's just keep seeking that next level,
And then with with your door-to-door journey, how do you feel like that impacted you with what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful that everything happened the way it did. So thankful, because the biggest thing that Vivint did for me and working in door-to-door did for me is just the skill of talking to people and understanding they are more nervous than you are. And I understand that now I can talk to anyone now knowing that my social skills are so good, even if they're super weird and awkward, I know what questions to ask to make them feel comfortable. And I'll never be in an awkward social situation because I can just say how I feel and ask them an open-ended question and get them talking about themselves, and I'm good. And that skill is just, you can't put a price on how valuable that skill is.
It's lost. It's lost today.
And at the time, man, when I made $55K, my first summer working 4 months, I was like, that's unreal, dude. You average it out, I'm like, I made over 10 grand a month working 4 months making $55K. And it was huge for me, man. It was huge to get that money. Mm-hmm. So I really had nothing when I started the summer. I mean, I had a little bit, but like maybe 5 or 10K saved.
Yeah.
And when maybe like around 20, and now looking back, I'm like, dude, the 55K is nothing, bro. And to the guys that have done a summer or two in door to door, hopefully you'll eventually look back and you'll be like, dude, I remember when I got that $20,000 back end check. It was like huge, but really it's nothing now. It's the skills that I got in door to door that allowed me to reach the 100K months doing something.
So if you look at Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, all these guys that have done door to door, that was what they were saying, is that the skill set that they got.
I'm like, bro, you're really
so hard
you're
just
really
to get back into.
I mean, we basically, one of the cameras went out and we're resetting. We just had like a 10-minute break. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, I was about to say something good.
We put the camera in the fridge.
It overheated. One of these freaking cameras over. They're nice cammers too.
Sony,
man.
what are you doing?
That's a nice camera. It's like a $600 camera, I think. And it threw us off a bit. But the skills you get in door to door are so important. And I can point out guys that have high skill levels. I mean, think of the guys that sell over 250 accounts. If you sell 250 accounts in alarms, how much money do you make?
$200K.
And I would say that skill level, you should be making like $2 million a year.
Yeah,
probably. And that we also have to consider the culture that we have here at the company we're working at. Because maybe at that point, they're like, hey, dude, $250K a year. Maybe they're managing an office. Maybe they're making $500K a year. They're like, bro, that's way more than I need to spend for my lifestyle. Yeah. So now they're seeking, status and happiness and all that. So, they might have a $2 million skill set, but they just love all the things that we do with the incentive trips and the home opener. And because the guys that are top guys here, they're treated like pro athletes. They're treated like rock stars here. Yeah. But they absolutely have a multi-million-dollar skill set. Because I know there's guys that are making multi-millions that don't even have half the skill as the handful of guys that have sold 300 plus accounts. Yeah. And that's something that fascinates me. And it would be interesting to ask one of those guys directly, like, hey, do you think that you have the skills to make $2 million a year? And if so, why haven't you found a place to plug yourself in? And, why do you stay here? It'd be interesting to just hear their perspectives. It'd be different for everyone. But I wonder if any of them know that, or if they don't even see themselves as, they might not even see that potential in themselves.
I think a lot of those guys, the fact that they're already making, let's say, $250,000 a year, like that's already probably more than they expected. So they're not even thinking about, I need to get to 2 million a year, 5 million. And it comes with that, like always trying to chase that next level. Cause we talked about this today a little bit off camera, but it's like, there's always another level. So if you're like, hey, once I make 100 grand, my life's going to be good. I'm going to be happy. Once I buy this car, like I'm going to be happy. And once you get there, there's some joy in like achieving that. But then you're just like, there's another level. And you're chasing the level
forever. It's endless.
Forever, right?
There's always another one.
And dude, what's crazy, dude, is I saw this interview on Instagram, and this guy was interviewing this billionaire, and he asked him, what is happiness to you? And you can tell they're sitting in this guy's office, like mahogany, wood, like bugs. Like this guy, like you could tell the chair he was in was a $10,000. Like you could just tell this guy was wealthy. Old dude, gray hair, wealthy, and he's just like, dude, what is happiness? And the guy says, happiness is when your kids still want to see you after they moved out of the house.
Yeah, it's the perfect indicator.
It's like, oh my gosh, bro. So he's like, he spent his whole life making all this money and he's lonely. His kids don't want to come see him. And he's like this lonely rich guy, right? So it's like, so where's that balance? And maybe where's that balance for you where it's like we're chasing the levels, we're chasing the money. And are we chasing the money or are we chasing the development that we get by trying to reach that level? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's a good question. I think about it a lot. And I think about, like, where am I going to draw the line? And I talked to my wife, Autumn, about it, like, you know, when is enough with me chasing money? And
is that a topic you guys? She's like, Cody, when is enough, bro? Like,
no, it's not like that.
Because I can see I can see that being an issue with some spouses.
No,
right?
she's very supportive.
Yeah.
But whatever I want to do, you know, she'll support me, which is why
Autumn's awesome.
That's why she's a great wife and a partner. But it's like I know what I want to do with my life ultimately is like cut out all the noise and just spend time with her and spend time with our kids. And like, I don't do that now I do it more than the average person for sure. I do it a lot. I see them for hours every day, but I would like to just get to where I don't even need to focus on money at all. Money's coming in passively because I built so much up. And, you know, like think about Justin Bieber level money, you know, where he's never going to think about money once in his day.
Yeah.
And then you can just focus all your energy on everything else that is important.
Like what?
Like spending quality time with family. And of course, losing my mom really made me comprehend that in a way, because we all know it and we can say it, but seeing her get cancer, know that she had 12 months left, and then how she lived those 12 months is so fascinating to me, because it was opposite, completely different than the way she lived her life before. The way she lived her life before, she's a workaholic. She just loved being an assistant principal and like all the BS of work. And she wanted to be a principal and just and it's like the money she was making was so little, dude. And it was weird. It was just, you know, society and my dad and the way society brainwashes us. You know, it's not their fault. They just fell into it and they fell for the traps that like society sets. And as soon as she got cancer, all of a sudden she didn't care about that at all. And I was like, if only you could have lived your whole life not caring about that at all.
Right.
You know? And dude, like, I mean, she's the best, but like, it's crazy to see that, because you have to ask yourself, if you got told you had a year left to live, I mean, you wouldn't be out. But you can't. Some things, it's like, hey, I might live another 50 years, so I do need to do some things in case I live. You know what I mean?
We just never know when our time's up.
But yeah, but it's such an interesting thing, and I always try to get. And the other thing with cancer is like, it can be the food you're eating, the things you're taking, and it can be the stress you're under. And she was under so much stress at work, and with her and with me personally, when I was a recruiter in the Army, I would have told you, dude, my job's easy. I have no stress. But the day I officially quit, I was like, wow, it feels like a weight lifted. And I didn't even think I was stressed.
Yeah.
So she said the same thing, you know, her first month she wasn't working. She's like, dang, there's so much relief. And I'm like, dang, man, that stress definitely wasn't good for your health.
Live your life as if it's your last. I mean, I think we just need to focus more on the relationship side of things, because at the end of the day, the money, we can't take the money with us to the grave, you know. But I think the relationships do extend past that, and it's a personal belief. But because at the end of the day, people don't really. If you think about this, when you are at your funeral, people aren't going to be talking about how big your house was and all this. They're going to talk about how you impacted them in their life and how you made them feel, right? So, and it's crazy how the longer that I've been doing this, 'cause I've been making decent money for the last, decade, and and we've been comfortable, been blessed to be comfortable and not have to worry about bills and all that. But once you get past that level of like having to worry about the house and the car payments, like once you get to that level of financial freedom, now you start thinking about the other stuff, right? You start thinking about the relationships, the connections you're having with people, the impact that you're having with the people around you. And it's crazy that that's where like most of the joy comes from in life, right? Is being able to have an impact on the people around you. And we can't always do that, but I think if we're always looking for ways to impact people, with a genuine interest to impact them and not to impact them to say that I'm impacting people. In like
true.
There's people that like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm helping a lot of people.
I know, bro.
And it makes them feel good about
about
themselves,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I would also say too, man, I mean, we're not even to the point where we can focus 100% on that.
Yeah.
Me and
we're for sure.
Dude, we're still, we are nowhere close to having made enough money. So we're still thinking about money a lot, where it's like, dude, how can I get more money? How can I get more? And I just look forward to that day where I'm like, you know, way ahead, and I'm like, okay, I'm freaking fine on the money side, you know.
We just need to make sure that we don't lose ourselves in the sauce, you know, like make sure that while we are chasing the levels, but we are still building relationships with the kids and the family.
Yeah, and that's a big focus for me right now is like dialing it back a bit, because I've been going 24/7 the last 2 years. And I don't stop. When I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about how can I suck more money out of TikTok,
which is so cool, because even at your level of you know, financial success, that's one of your gifts that you have is you don't have a ceiling. And I don't know where you got that from, but
it's the autism.
The autism,
yeah. So I'm on the spectrum. Obviously, I'm in a really good place on the spectrum where it's not really negative, but it's a superpower. You know,
that's cool.
It's crazy. And then when I first like we self-diagnosed, just reading online the questionnaire. Yeah. I was like, damn, bro, what the fuck? I was like, really? But then what I've learned, because I watch a lot of successful people on podcasts. A lot of people know that about them. Yeah, I was watching a podcast, and me and myself and my wife, whenever we see someone who's like super dialed, we're like, dude, they definitely have like mild autism. Yeah. And I was watching,
because is that one of the side effects? Is you're super fixated on a certain
you can
task?
Obsess to levels that the normal person just physically can't. Yep. And you know, so I've been trying to cut some people some slack lately. Cause
you're like, dude, come on, bro. How can you not be as focused as me?
It kills me, bro. When I see people not live to their potential, it pisses me off so much. But no, I was watching this podcast, bro, with one of my friends, Austin, who did the videographer stuff for me. And he's a freaking monster. He's only 20, and he's like, he's done a $50K a month off of his video services. And Autumn and I was like, he definitely has autism. Or she might have said it to me, and we are like, yeah, I mean, he's so high level. That's why he's dialed in. And then, dude, 2 minutes after that in the podcast, the guy hosting was like, dude, how do you do it? How do you do it? And he was like, well, it's the autism. It's a superpower. He said,
the spectrum.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. And I was like, that is crazy, because I just kind of put it all together and learned that. And now I'm like able to point it out sometimes in people. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not like, you know, you can still crush if you're not, but it's funny that he knew that about himself. I'm like, that's crazy, bro. He just said it after we pointed out that we noticed that. That's freaking crazy.
So crazy. And dude, it makes sense, because you can turn into a machine. And to do the social media game at the level that you do it, you have to be a machine. And it's dude, it's because I've tried. You've helped me a little bit, and I've tried to get there. And dude, it's
true,
bro. It's so tough to be consistent, because it's just so because it comes in waves, right? You don't always see a pop with your views, and it dips, but you just have to not give a shit. You gotta keep going. And you're really good at that. Like, you're good at just not giving a shit, and you're just a machine. And
I'm just so hungry, bro, for that. You know, that feeling of getting my goal done. Yeah. You know.
Which, that's actually a really good transition. I think you just accomplished a pretty cool goal that you had. Maybe it wasn't even a goal, but you did something pretty cool the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, my man, you tell him what's up, man.
Getting the Lambo.
Just bought a Lambo, dude.
At first, I was thinking you were talking about having my son. And then I was like, you're talking about the Lambo. And I was like,
both equally. No, the son's way better.
Equal.
But that wasn't a couple weeks ago.
I thought I was wondering if I was going to say the Lambo and then it was my son.
No, your son, you freaking.
You piece of shit, dude.
It's like, no,
So,
the Lambo.
I mean, the Lambo is crazy, bro, because I've been doing so much deep thinking. Like, when
Dude,
my mom,
it's so sexy, bro. The mantis green.
oh, that thing is dope. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I couldn't comprehend the power of that car. Like, not just literally, but like also like just the power social status wise. I mean, the power physically when you hit the gas. Yeah, that too is crazy.
Right.
But I knew that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I can't believe the impact when I posted that photo, and the way people look at me now is so different. Which is why I bought it. It was pretty much the reason I bought it.
Yeah, because we'll dig into that because you haven't really been a car guy. So what is your?
I've been the opposite of car guy. I knew nothing about. I
drove a Honda forever,
dude. I didn't even know what type of Lambo I bought. Yeah. Like I just loved that color, and I knew it was nice, and I knew it was a good deal because I looked up the same thing and I saw the same one pretty much going. Someone was asking like 320 grand, and this one was 300 grand is what I paid for mine. But yeah, I was doing a lot of deep thinking since, especially after the moment my mom passed away. I've just been thinking like really deep thoughts the past like year and a half. And I was like, why are we on earth? What's my purpose? What am I trying to do? You know, things like that. And who the fuck knows? But what I've kind of decided is my motto and my main focus, at least for right now, it's always changing, is just live up to my full potential, be the best man I can be, and give that man to the world. And the way I do that is I learn things, I accomplish things, I share it on social media to help as many people that I can on social media level up with me. Yeah. So if I learn, dude, door to door is amazing, I'm going to tell people that. And, you know, people look at the Lambo and they think, oh, dude, he's cocky, he's an idiot, he put all his money into his car, you know, he's just trying to flex. And it's like, well, I bought it so that I can impact more lives, because I understand that if I get millions of views with that Lambo, some people are gonna come to me and I'll be able to help them. And the true piece of shit's out there, dude, are the people that have cracked the code, make millions, and they don't want to teach anyone. They want to keep it a secret so they can keep milking it. Yeah. And they don't even want people in their family to know they're rich. So they drive a shitty, you know, Honda or Toyota, and they keep it low key, and they're living in a normal neighborhood, and they've got all this money that they're hoarding in their bank account, and they don't help one person level up. And those are the people that, you know, if you want to hate someone, you should hate people like that. Yeah. You shouldn't hate the guy that cracked the code, has a Lambo, has a coaching program, and is actually helping change people's lives. Yeah. That should be applauded, because my impact on society is actually sick, you know. Right. And I got the Lambo because one of my friends he was highly skilled, but without me putting him onto this thing, you know, the sports betting stuff, he wasn't making a ton of money, but he's a hustler. And once he saw what I was doing, he did it too. He makes like 30 to 40 grand a month for 6 months, gets his Lambo, and I'm thinking, dude, what is this guy doing? He's crazy. Yeah. He had like $250,000 cash, and he just put it all in on this Lambo. And I'm like, I mean, he makes 40 grand a month. He'll be fine. Yeah. First month with the Lambo, he made 200 grand. Second month, he made 700 grand. Jeez. He's made like 3.1 million over the last 8 months. Holy crap. And I'm like, okay, I definitely need a Lambo. I'm like, I'm an idiot for not knowing this sooner.
Nearest Lambo dealership.
I appreciate him. I've learned so much from that guy. And it's kind of funny. Everything I've just talked about, I basically helped him just because I get excited about helping other people and put them onto things. Yeah. And I mean, I had no selfish intention at all. I was just pumped to help this guy that I met. And then turns out now he's teaching me so much, and I'm learning from him.
That's cool.
And it's similar with you. You know, when you first put me on to door, you're helping me a ton. But now think of all the things I've taught you. Yeah. And it's like, if you are selfish, which we're all selfish to some degree, but if you're the most selfish person in the world, the thing that would help you the most would be to help others, because it's going to come around to you. So, it's just an interesting thing.
It is. It's an interesting concept, because you mentioned, like, yeah, if you've cracked the code and you found a way to, find financial freedom and you don't tell people about it, right? But when you tell people about it, it's the people that are jealous that they're like, oh, he's the one flexing, he's got the Lambo, he was trying to show off, right, or whatever. But when they get to know you, it's like, dude, these people that are making really good money and they're super successful, like 99% of the time, they're more than happy to help you get there too. Because what good is first class if your homies can't sit, dude?
Yeah,
that's a J. Cole reference.
That's funny, man. That's funny. That's hilarious. That's a good Instagram caption.
Yeah.
If you ever sit first class, take a picture and post it.
Yeah, dude. Why are you gonna be like? How fun is first class by yourself? Like, you want to have the whole squad there,
Yeah, for sure. And dude, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I guess I launched a coaching program too, which is gonna help me hopefully increase my income. But also, it's just so dope to see my students. Where right now I'm charging $7,000. And one of my students just graduated high school, and he did a $12,000 month in July. And it's like, that's his first full month in the program. He joined in June. And I'm like, dude.
You just graduated high school.
Just graduated high school, made $12,000. And in our industry, it's fantasy. He's doing all fantasy football. So, like, to make that in July is insane because it's the dead zone. So he's going to have 6-figure months when September be his first 6-figure month.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
As an 18-year-old kid.
He was smart enough to invest in his knowledge. And the people that are at the highest levels financially, they're making money off their knowledge. And that's what is limiting all of us. I didn't know about door-to-door, or I would have done it sooner. I didn't know about affiliate marketing on TikTok with these sports betting apps, or I would have obviously done it in 2019 when I first got on TikTok.
Right.
So for that kid, and a lot of my students are younger dudes, it's cool to see because they understand, hey, in this new world we live in, the way you get to the top is you just pay someone, And the same people that are scared to do that, they'll go pay a university $50,000 and learn nothing and burn through 4 years of their life. So they're paying 4 years of their life and they're paying $50,000 to learn nothing. And you can say, oh, I learned this in college, but you're learning nothing in there.
Yeah.
What you got to do is get in one of these masterminds, get these courses. And I paid $10,000 for a coach too recently, and just being in that group, bro, and on those Zoom calls with all those other killers in there that paid $10,000 to get there too. Because if they paid $10,000 to get there, that means they're probably making $30,000 a month plus. Mm-hmm. It's just dope to network with individuals like that. And that's how you speed the process up for yourself. Start thinking bigger. Like, if your goal is to have $100K a year, that's way too low. Mm-hmm. Anybody watching this podcast, like, you can get so much more out of yourself. And you got to think bigger and get into those. Like, honestly, Alex Hormozy says this, and it's so true. Like, everybody's trying to invest their money, and what stock is going to blow up, all this, NFTs, all that stuff. Like, but if you have under $100,000, you should put as much money as possible into your knowledge. And that's paying for someone's coach, paying for a mastermind, and networking, learning. And like, the knowledge that'll be in your brain after you invest $50K into coaching, now you're going to be a $2 million a year guy.
Yeah. And when you put that much money into it, you've got skin in the game. So you're willing.
You're motivated.
You want to get something out of it, right?
Yep.
So that's why a lot of the free coaching doesn't even work, because you didn't sacrifice anything to get that knowledge. So you can watch videos on YouTube all day about how to do stuff, but if you don't have any skin in the game, you're way less likely to go apply that knowledge. That's
what I tell my friends too with my coaching, because I tell them, I'm like, bro, trust me, man, just pay the $7K just like everyone else in the group has. And if I don't get it back for you, I'll refund you, of course. I'm not going to just keep it and run off with your money. But like, by you putting that money down, you will get so much more out of my coaching. And dude, like, I have the direct deposits. I have the proof. I've had multiple 6-figure months. And we're talking about making $125K in a month. My best month was $185,000, bro. If you, dude, if I was watching this podcast or if I was like just aware of my coaching program, I would do everything I needed to get 7K. Sell my Xbox, sell your fucking car, dude. Get into my coaching program, and I have a guy that made 12K his first full month in it. So it's like, that's the obvious thing that would make the most sense, but still people won't do it. And it's just crazy to me. But the guys in my program, like, I'm grateful for them. They believed in me. They believed in themselves enough. Yeah. And it's going to be dope to see how many guys I can get to a 6-figure month. It's going to be insane.
More Lambos, more kids in Lambos.
Yeah, we got to get these guys Lambos, man. I mean, that kid Nathan that did the 12K, I'm like, bro, you got to get yourself a Lambo, son. That's cool. Pull up to your school a year after you graduate in a Lambo, man. Tell that teacher that told you wouldn't be anything to fuck off.
That's cool, dude. I love your story, dude, and it's super inspirational. And again, you have a work ethic is just crazy, which it inspires me too, to see, because I knew you when you were just working at the college making $12 an hour. So it's been cool to see you.
It's crazy.
It's been so cool to see you blow up, and dude, I love that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's crazy to think. It's like, without you, where would I even be? And that's some crazy stuff.
Dude, you would have still gotten there.
Would have figured it out, but yeah, you helped me speed up the process and give me the snap out of things. And the mentorship you and just Adam have given me, and just being around y'all. Obviously, I've been around you a lot more than him, but it's been so impactful. And I think that, like, another thing that is important for me to say on here is I left Vivint to level up. And I didn't leave until after I already was making so much money that I was like, dude, I can't walk away from the amount I'm making now. Yeah. And we have seen dozens of guys walk away. And we talked about it today, and we make fun of them. And it's like, they're doing nothing. They're losing. And obviously they don't belong here. That's not the type of guy we want with us. But it's like, dude, if you are knocking every day and you truly hate it, and everybody hates it, you just got to grind through it, and look at the positive. There's so many positives of this job. Just being with the boys alone is dope. Now that I'm in Dallas and near the office, I'm really excited to help some guys and see if I can turn one or two of them into just a beast. Yeah. Because the way to get to that next level here is become really good at selling, but also become the best recruiter in the game, or the best you can be, which it's not hard to be the best in the game. Like, that's pretty easy to get to with where the bar's at now. And use social media, build your funnel, and I can teach the guys all this stuff. But dominate recruiting.
You have to.
And then get yourself where you're running an office that does over 1,000 accounts. Yeah. If you're a rookie, you got to get there year 3 or year 4. Don't make it a 10-year process to becoming an office, director.
Get there as quick as you can, because like we talked about, selling is addition, recruiting is multiplication. You're gonna cap out. You can only sell so many personal accounts in a day, right? Yep. But once you recruit, then it's compounded, and you hire somebody.
What's so cool about working for you that these guys get to experience is you're someone who understands the recruiting game and the content. Like, no one else in door to door is recording a podcast at midnight when you just knocked all day, and you're gonna knock all day tomorrow, and you're recording a podcast at midnight. And we're grinding. There's no one else, bro.
We're grinding it out, baby.
And it's crazy, bro. And I tell guys all the time in door to door, like, I'm not doing this for the money at all. I made like 35 grand last year, and it was like less than 7% of my income, you know what I mean? So it was like 4 or 5% of my income last year. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, like, I have no reason to like try to finesse you into working with my team. But I tell these guys, I'm like, bro, if you want to make it in door to door, which you're in the door to door game, you've been in for 4 years or however long that they're in it, guys at other companies, that try to recruit me or talk to me or whatever, like, you probably should get with my squad, because we understand social media, and it's the easiest place to recruit is to Trentwood, Adam Nelson, that downline or that upline. That's the best upline you can have in the door-to-door game. And the office we have with the indoor basketball court is an X factor. And you got me there too. I've got the blue check on TikTok. Only place where blue check can't be bought.
The vlogs that we're doing, we got the video guy out here, Hasael, that worked with a YouTuber that he got to 3 million views or 3 million subscribers, and he's on our crew. And we understand the content game. We understand the recruiting game. And the whole point of me investing into a videographer and doing the vlogs out here is, number one, documenting the crazy world of door to door and the behind the scenes stuff that people don't get to see. Like, we're filming scenarios that management goes through, that I go through as a manager running a door to door sales team, that people don't get to see. So we're opening that door for people. And we're also exposing, dude, not just trying to glorify the money that we make. Dude, we're showing you the difficulties of the job and how hard it is, and guys that have quit and gone home because it was too tough. We're documenting the guys having their best weeks and making, having $7,000-8,000 days, right? So we're opening the door to all of that, and because we're doing that, it's making the recruiting game for our group so easy. We talked about this earlier. We're investing into the social media and the content platform to, at the end of the day, just blow up our entire group, which at the end, like you mentioned, it just helps us impact more people. Impact more guys. All these young guys that are coming out of high school and they're in college, they do not get the life experience and the knowledge and education in school that we provide with our group of guys, whether it's about investing, money, work ethic, negotiating, sales, life, everything.
And nobody has anybody integrated into their team like how I'm integrated. And if anybody that works with you hit me up and asks for help with TikTok or making money on the internet, I would give them the full game for free and help them and be pumped to help them. I love it when guys hit me up. And like, no other door-to-door has a dude doing 6-figure months on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because I've met with so many guys, because my thought process, man, after working with y'all was like, what are the odds that I got recruited to the perfect place? Yeah. I got to make sure that I'm not like, that I'm not doing this there, and there's like this thing that I can be making millions with. So I've worked with other like companies and learned and made sure that this is the perfect spot. So when I say this stuff, dude, a lot of guys say it and they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah. They're just idiots and they got brainwashed and they're drinking the Kool-Aid. But I literally, and I've recruited to solar and made overrides, and I'll tell you, dude, because basically my funnel's so overflowed that I can do it and it's not even detrimental. It's like, I'm like, dude, those 5 guys, I don't really want them in our squad, but they're begging to work. So just boom.
Throw them over here.
And other guys are like, dude, I've got 3 dogs and a kid, and I'm like, don't bring your dogs to the summer program, hey, you can work, because solar is more like a 9 to 5. Right. It really is like a 12-month a year 9 to 5.
The guys that do just solar, like just the year-round solar.
Yes, like traditional solar companies, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid by doing this. So it's like, obviously, that's a huge negative. But then also, like, to me, if you're not recruiting, what are you doing? You're not progressing. Right. And it's so fucking hard to recruit to solar. And they obviously they over-exaggerate their money. They count their money before it hits their bank account. Yeah. Don't show me this bullshit edited post that y'all made because, I closed 5 deals today. I'll get the money in 3 to 4 months. Show me that shit hitting your bank account. It's not. Yeah. It's not. But the biggest thing is when you recruit a guy, you want him to be sticky. You want him to do well. And with alarms, we have seen guys make a couple $1,000 their first week. Realistically, say they get 1 deal and they make $700 their first week. That's a huge win. Right. With solar, they can go out and say they dominate. They are not going to get paid until the panels are installed on the roof. So show me who I can recruit to solar that is in a position where they have 3 months of money saved, set aside. So they're not getting paid the first couple months. And then they also are sharp enough of a person to, or not sharp, I guess, open enough for that opportunity. Because most people that have 3 months money saved are like, bro, I got a great job. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you're not gonna, and you know, so it's a
It's
balance.
a rare breed, right?
It's
and
very
there's some
rare.
companies though that they'll front their guys some money. They call them M1s, what it's called, right? So they're like, oh, here, you got a bill, you set a lead for solar, so here's $1,000 up front, right? But the difficulties with that is if that deal doesn't go through, which a lot of solar deals don't go through either because of permitting, customer backs out. I mean, they get cold feet. They read something negative about solar. Their friend had a bad experience. So many things can happen to where all of a sudden it doesn't happen.
Or another solar guy comes and says, dude, you're paying this much. I can get you for this much.
Yeah, you get undercut.
Boom.
You undercut, take the market.
You got 3 months that other dudes can come steal your deal.
So you got fronted $1,000 to pay your bills before it got installed. Well, guess what? That deal didn't go in. So what's the company going to do? Now they're going to claw that money back. So then when you do finally get an install in, now you're in the hole. And so it can get very messy. And so we do solar as well, right? But we add solar to our customers that already have a product with us.
If you're a Vivint customer, you love Vivint the same amount a Tesla driver loves a Tesla. They're wearing a Tesla hoodie. Like, if you're a Vivint customer, it's crazy, dude. The stuff my neighbors said in the neighborhood group this summer. They loved Vivint so much. Like, when the Vivint guys came through, they were hyping it up. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
It was dope for the guy, too. I was the first post, so I got the momentum going.
You started the spark.
But then I was like, damn, bro, these people, they're not even trying to help the guy. They just love Vivint. So Vivint is a product that like you fall in love with as soon as that's installed in your house. And I got it, when I started selling it, I'm like, I'm going to use it. And I was like, I bought it because I knew I was going to sell it. But when I got it, it changed my life. I was like, as a homeowner and just someone living, I was like, dude, how did I live without this?
This is cool shit.
Legit.
Control my whole house from my phone.
And I think it's similar when you get a Tesla. It's like, damn, bro, this car's on another level.
It's techie.
And so it would be like if Tesla said, hey, you own a Tesla, so you can have the special Tesla solar panels. And then somebody knocks your door with, another random solar company. You'd be like, bro, I'm getting the Tesla stuff, bro.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
It integrates with my car. And
yeah,
all that.
you're like, so the Vivint customers, you cannot touch them. No one's switching those guys over, and you're double dipping your pay in a way where you can go make 6 figures plus in the summer just off the alarms. And Jimmy did well with solar last year because he was showing me.
He's doing even better this year too.
He wasn't showing me, hey, look at this edited graphic.
Yeah.
He was sending me screenshots of his fucking bank account. And it was like $2,000 to $4,000 hitting like boom, boom, boom. And it was in the fall. And I was like, oh, is that your back end? And he was like, no, dude, these are the solar. And I'm like, bro, what's your back end? And I was like, bro, this guy's getting a back end check for the alarms. And he's getting all these like $2,000 to $4,000 payments hitting.
Yep.
So if you're doing Vivint, you better be set. Make sure you finish it off and set the solar.
Don't leave the money on the table.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting started with what we're doing here, building this squad, and it's going to be dope. And I think the next step is to just help guys master social media and social media recruiting. And I just moved to Dallas, and that's my goal.
Let's go. I was pumped. I'm
once
glad
we
you're
get
in Dallas.
and once we finish, extended, it's gonna be sick. When all you guys watching this get back, it's gonna be dope, and I'm gonna make sure you guys level up. So,
Dude,
hit me up when you guys get to Dallas. Let's go.